Hey, welcome to the He Said, She Said podcast. I'm the gay party that your straight boyfriend wants to come to. And I really mean come to. Travis.
And I am the lesbian party that Melissa Etheridge lost her virginity at. Hey, I'm Erica.
Oh, man. So that kind of leads into what I wanted to talk about a little bit here. And that is, I don't believe that we're inherently born 100% straight and 100% gay.
Damn, I thought we were going to talk about me and Melissa Etheridge being together. That would be great.
Yeah, I could see you going for a cougar like Melissa Etheridge.
Yeah.
Or Ellen. Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen, I'd probably fool around with her, yeah, but I'm not like relationship-wise.
Well, Melissa Etheridge is married too, so.
Well, I wouldn't mind having a threesome with Ellen and
Portia de Rossi.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But no, seriously, there's this big stigma in the gay community that about like, well, I guess it's not a stigma, it's a thing where people are like, oh, I turned him gay or I turned him bi or whatever. And it's like, I don't see that because I've been with quote unquote straight guys before, and you could say, okay, I turned them blue, I turned them bi, I turned them gay, whatever. But I think it was inherently in them already. And they just decided, what the hell, we'll explore into it, and they found out that they liked it.
I think I agree with that. Well, because I don't think a lot of listeners know much about me and my story, but I'm 31, and I just realized I was kind of like, I think that I had suspicions earlier on in life, but they were just suppressed. I grew up Catholic, for God's sake, and, I didn't really go that way for a long time, but it's only been a year or two, a little over a year or two, that I've actually accepted myself and realized, hey, okay, I'm not going to deny this anymore. And but it was a few years ago that I actually was starting to get interested or realize that I was interested.
Right. It was a little over a year because it was, like
Wasn't
a couple months.
New Year's, I was in New York and I posted.
You came home around Chris's birthday, and my memories had the selfie I took waiting on you at Steak and Shake, because that was my first time seeing you since you came home from New York. But yeah, because you came out officially in New York publicly.
Yeah, well, on Facebook, if you call that public. But,
I call it public because that's how I came out.
Yeah. Well, but my point was, before New York, it was actually just one person that kind of made me open my own eyes, I guess, kind of. Yeah. So when you say, like, you were with straight or slash not,
guys who identify as themselves straight, yeah.
It's kind of just an opening, or it opens their eyes a little more, I think. Yeah. Or that doesn't mean that they weren't gay before or bi before or whatever you want to say. Yeah. But,
I think we're all bi. I think we're all bi. It's just what are you attracted more to? A couple examples. Number one, the most alpha male that I know is actually my best friend Royce. And he was, in Iraq and, stationed there for a while. He did 2 tours of Iraq, being in the army, and one time when he was on R&R, he spent that whole entire week at my house, which was great. We had a few girls over as well. Not in... That kind of sounds wrong.
Yep, sure did.
It wasn't like, oh my gosh, this was going to be like this big orgy. It was just like friends.
I was kind of surprised. I'm like, Travis, you like...
Party house. But, we watched the porn, and he was like, oh my God, because the guy in one of the scenes, he had really a small dick, like really small. And Royce is like, well, that's disappointing, because if you're a really macho guy, if you're watching a straight porn, you don't want to see that blonde bimbo get nailed with a small, like, pencil dick. You want, like, a monster cock to
surprised he wasn't a porn at all. Then if he had a small dick, isn't that criteria for porn?
Well, there's a lot of fetishes out there. You know, there are people who prefer small dicks. So
True.
I mean, but anyway, and then number 2, when I was doing the Mr. Late Night show, prelude to our that's kind of like a prelude to our announcement last week, which we'll probably go back over. What was I saying? Oh, the Mr. Late Night show. We had a gay guy on our show called Chadley, and he and I became really close. I mean, we're still friends, but we're not as close as we used to be. But you know, he admitted that, you know, he was sexually attracted to women's boobs. So it's like, you know, and I find breasts attractive too. So it's not like there's any such thing as I'm 100% straight or I'm 100% gay. You're in a spectrum.
I think that's how I think that everyone would at least have that one person, whether it's a actor, singer, even their next, like, someone that they would swing the other way for, or at least entertain the idea.
You hear that all the time.
So that, I don't know. In the words of Harry Styles, don't knock it till you try it.
Okay. Harry Styles.
Sorry. No, I'm not. You know I love him, so it's okay.
Speaking of that, I finally heard the new Louis song, Be Rexa.
Yeah, I love it.
And I hate it.
What is up
Of course I hate it. I heard it last night and I was like, this isn't Louis Tomlinson at all. I would expect...
Who is Louis Tomlinson? Like, what do you think Louis Tomlinson would come out with?
Not anything completely disposable. I think when I saw that they were all, you know, going to do their own separate thing, Zayn, I just realized something. We talk a lot about One Direction in this podcast. For me being a casual fan and you being whatever.
I am a directioner. I am a directioner. I have taken over the show.
You are a directioner and you're directing this conversation. Zayn is doing pretty much what I thought he would do. Liam is doing exactly pretty much what I thought he would do.
Even if it's disappointing.
Yeah. Niall, surprising,
Love
but that's kind of the route I thought he would go. I thought he would go the Ed Sheeran, and it's working off. It's working out for him. Harry, I kind of figured he'd do something experimental, not so much pop. But Louis, I thought would go kind of the Harry direction, kind of the, you know, I want to make music that kind of means something, that kind of matters. But he's coming out with like disposable stuff. It's kind of disappointing me. And I think if we take One Direction now versus when they first were formed, I would say Louis is the weakest voice.
That's always been said, though, even when they were together.
No, because when they were first formed, it was Niall.
No.
Because I believe Niall got a no from Katy Perry at his audition.
We're not talking audition-wise. I was talking actually in the band.
Yeah, but that was still when they formed.
Yeah.
So, but good on Niall for, you know, working on his craft and actually getting really, really good. Like, I heard him he was on what show? Elvis Duran. The Elvis Duran show.
I just watched Demi Lovato on that show yesterday.
Oh, yeah, Demi loves coming to Elvis Duran.
I like Elvis a lot.
Elvis is so endearing, and he's honest, but he's so endearing. That's why I like him too. Yep. But he performed Slow Hands in this town, and a cover during his interview, and he sounded just like the record, you know, even acoustic, and was like, you know, that takes talent, because some people they'll record it and you say, oh, that sounds great, and then when it comes out live, it's like, that didn't sound anything like what's being played on the radio.
I love that they all actually have true talent. Like,
yeah.
And I think that's the best. Those are the best artists to support anyway. But speaking of sounding just like
Oh, hang on.
the record.
I'll tell you one other thing why I hate the new Louis song, Louis B.B. Rex's song. It's so fucking auto-tuned. It is so auto-tuned. And it's like, BB Rexa is talented on her own. She doesn't really need, if she was marketed right, she could be as big as like Mariah Carey once was, or as Celine Dion once was. Still kind of is. She can be that kind of singer if she was marketed right. I don't think she's marketed right, but this is me. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
Speaking of sounding as good on record as live, I got to see Five Finger Death Punch last night.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Yeah, here's the weird part. I saw that you went with our friend Justin and our friend Sean, and even though I hate Five Finger Death Punch, I still experience some FOMO out of that.
Some what?
Some FOMO. Actually,
what the hell are you talking about? What's FOMO?
FOMO, FOMO. It's here's Travis's brain fart again. Here's Travis's brain fart.
Have you all heard of this? I don't know
FOMO,
what FOMO
yeah.
means.
It stands for fear of missing out.
Oh, I've never heard of that in my life. Okay.
You've never heard of FOMO?
No, not at all.
Wow. But, it's kind of like I still missed out, but, it was...
You wouldn't have enjoyed it.
Right, I would.
Well, here's the funny thing. Well, actually, a couple things. First off, we were in seats instead of in the track. Thank God, I would have been crushed and
miserable. I would not.
But
I've learned my lesson about the Illinois State Fair. The track is cool, but the grandstand's where it's at, because you can actually enjoy the show without having to worry about people burning you with cigarettes just to get through.
It was nice once we actually found our seats. That was horrible. But we were on the left side of the stage, or stage right if you want to.
Yeah.
From their point of view. But anyway, we were literally sitting by like a 60-year-old couple and like older people, like 40s and 50s to 60s, and I'm like, did we like get senior discounts or something? Because they were all sitting down, they weren't rocking out, and I loved it because Sean was totally getting into it and headbanging, and he was getting these weird looks, and I was just like glaring at the people that were like giving him weird looks. I'm like, it's not our fault you're not cool enough to hang, but it was really fun.
It's one of those that kind of makes it sound like it's one of those things where, what kind of show did you think you were buying a ticket to?
Right, because they were all.
It wasn't the Oak Ridge Boys.
Yeah, it's not even like the opening acts were anything different than metal. Yeah. All That Remains was right before them, and we actually missed Nonpoint because we were too busy getting lost in the fair and shit. But Ivan, the lead singer,
yeah,
I need to look this up because he said that he had taken a break for a while. He was going through some stuff, and so this was actually his first concert back for a while, and it was actually the biggest sold out or the biggest concert at the State Fair this year, 13,000 people.
I can imagine, because that's what. On my Facebook, that's what everybody was talking about, except for one person, which she actually is the one that really got my FOMO going.
Oh.
She went to a Lady Gaga concert that was in Omaha, Nebraska. Speaking of my friend Jen Dent that we talked about last week, and she just kind of had this religious experience at that whole show, because there's Lady Gaga does a lot of. We all know Lady Gaga does a lot of philanthropy work, especially when it comes to sexual assault victims or mental health specifically, because we know Gaga's story that she has some history in the mental health world. And so she always promotes, love yourself, love everybody else, make sure you fix yourself because we need you. So, but Jen was like, she flew from her place in Virginia to Nebraska to see the show. And it was like, yeah, that's really cool. I think she meant to see a friend, but she knew the show was there, so she just timed it out.
Well, with Ivan, it was a great surprise, because I honestly didn't know much about the band itself. Yeah. I just knew I liked a lot of their songs. and they sing a song where part of the lyric is, "I feel like Jekyll and Hyde." He is kind of literally like a walking Jekyll and Hyde, but it's really cool. Like, one minute he's standing on stage saying, "Fuck this, move out of the way or you're gonna get fucking hurt," like being all this big, like, metal guy, like screaming and shit like that. Or then right after that, he like starts like hugging kids, and like he pulled up kids on the stage and was like talking so sweet to them, and like blowing kisses to people, and like it was really like forth between that. But he's a really cool dude, and I really want to add him to our club because he's just amazing. Like, he's a big teddy bear, but then if you piss him off, he's gonna kick the shit out of you too.
Yeah, so, but the band's not from around here, are they?
Colorado.
Yeah.
Because he also was like, now slow down on smoking that weed because I can smell it all the way up here. He goes, "Man, I love that shit. I'm from Colorado, and it's legal over there." So, but yeah, it was a really good experience. I didn't know what to expect. I'd never been to anything like that. I'd been to like Lady A and One Direction and like all these softer kind of bands and performances. So it was really cool. So.
The only rock show I went to at the State Fair was Daughtry and 12 Stones, which was kick ass, but it was so hot. It was like 100-degree heat.
This was perfect weather too, so I got really. Although I do have blisters now on the bottom of my foot underneath the callus.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm wearing my soft slippers now, so that. Ow, that burp went through my nose.
Ew.
I know. But, so I'm in kind of some pain, because I was a dumbass and wore flip-flops. But I'm a fat bitch, guys, and I held my own and walked, kept up with Justin's long legs, and I was sweating so bad, but, like, I got the biggest workout I've had in probably 2 months, so.
Wow, like, Justin outwalked you?
Yeah.
I can't walk him. Like, we'd walk around before, and I can, as long as I can see.
You have long legs. Walking by him.
But I'm fat too.
No, but you're also like twice my height almost, and your legs are like.
Oh, I am not a giant.
And my legs are really short, and I waddle when I walk, so it's a little harder for me to get around.
You just described yourself as my cat Festus.
I prefer a cute penguin, but okay.
My cat Festus isn't cute?
Oh no, I'm on dangerous ground here now. Yo, Festus is adorable.
Yeah, we gotta.
Wait, let me make that sound a little more believable. Festus is.
You don't really believe my cat Festus is adorable.
He is cute. I'm just not a cat person, and you know this.
That's probably why Avalon didn't like you. He
probably.
Could sense that. He could have sensed that.
Probably.
But no, my cat Festus, oh god, I'm having a deja vu.
What?
Have you ever had moments of deja vu where it's like you've been here before?
You're here once a week, and we always talk about, I don't know, maybe that's it.
Anyway,
your cat Festus.
My cat Festus. Really, I'm really getting tripped out here. My cat Festus, I'm worried about him because, every time you pet him, he has to lick himself now. So,
Feel diseased?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe he's a germaphobe.
Well, I looked it up, and it's kind of along the lines of mental illness. Well, I knew. Okay, we've had Festus since he was very, very little, and that's usually when we get our cats. We usually get like teenage cats or anything like that. We get like cats when they're just weaned.
I'd say that's pretty normal for most owners.
Some actually don't want to deal with.
Some people adopt or something.
But anyway, Festus, we knew from the start he was different. And I looked it up. I'm not a doctor, so I can't officially diagnose him. But Festus likes to look at walls and ceilings and just objects. just like random objects. Like if he was sitting here right now, he'd probably stare at your wall, and that is a sign of autism in cats. And I looked up, what he's doing now, which he still purrs, he still wants to snuggle with you.
Is he ever temperamental?
No, he gets depressed sometimes, but he usually snaps out of it within a day or two. But anyway, I looked up what he's doing now. When you pet him from like the head and neck to the shoulders, well, they're not really his shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
Shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
When you pet him from his head to like the back of his first two legs, he's fine. You go past that, he's digging at himself. He's licking himself. And I looked that up to kind of see what maybe we were dealing with, and it's along the lines of like advanced autism, because and I feel guilty because autism can advance in cats that are indoor cats because they don't get enough exercise. And obviously, if you see Festus, he needs exercise. He's a porker. I love him.
Get him a little leash and take him on walks.
No, not with the cats that roam around my neighborhood. I'm afraid that would not work out well because he's not a fighter.
Well, then take him in the car and go out to kick the park and walk him out there.
But when cats have like an okay diet, but they're indoor cats and they don't exercise much, it kind of advances their mental illness. And I wish I would have picked up on that now. If I was to take him to Kickapoo Park to walk, he'd plop down and refuse to do it. Like seriously, we're beyond that point. But I'll tell you what,
he'll get the point.
Oh yeah, drag him along by his neck. Sorry, Mom, I killed the cat. I accidentally hung him.
Get the harness one that's on his body, and then that way it's not choking him. He'll lay there on his side with his
that would be
his legs just dragging behind him.
That would be But no.
Let me get the video camera for that one, okay?
He's the loudest purring cat though I've ever heard in my life. Like I could be upstairs in my room, have my wind tunnel going, and the door closed, and if he's snuggling up with JR, I can still hear him in the house. He is one happy cat when he gets going. But yeah, I'm worried about him though. You need to take him to see the vet soon. Plus his shots are due anyway, so maybe we can address that when he gets his shots. Yeah, so how was your week?
Very long. I'm kind of struggling because my car died again. Yeah. And thanks to you, I got home from work. I would have had to walk home from Chatham. Actually, my boss Brian actually thought that I used, because I was telling him that the cleaning lady I didn't know she came on Friday nights. Yeah. And he was like, no, she comes on Saturdays or whatever. And I go, well, no, she was there Friday night when I was there waiting for my ride. And he goes, oh, that's how you got home. Well, no dip, Sherlock. How else do you think I would have got home? You think I really would have walked from Chatham to Lincoln? I would have been there, and I should have just stayed the night then. But so I have I actually lost a day of work last week because I couldn't get to work. Yeah. Because the day that I found my car wouldn't start, I didn't have any other vehicle here to take. Yeah. And then I was sick the week after that, so I lost a day there too. So I have 2 short checks coming, and I don't know how I'm gonna get through. But yeah, I know. Life is tough. Adulting sucks. I'm gonna break out into song again if I'm not careful. But yeah, no, I'm just kind of out all over the place mentally, so not dealing so well. Still looking for a job, so anyone knows someone hiring, just let me know, okay? We help our own, you know? Yeah. I got your back if you got mine.
I start my new job on Tuesday. And I'm not gonna say where I work, because if somebody listens to this and then they're like, I mentioned who I'm working for and where I'm working, they'll probably like call my employer and be like, this is the kind of person you're hiring. I don't know if I want to be buying a product.
No. I think that this show shows the best of you, Travis.
Right.
And I think you would be portrayed as a totally normal person if they showed this to your boss.
Totally normal.
Yeah.
Totally normal.
I have other reasons for not sharing where I work, or, that's for the same reason I don't, add my coworkers on Facebook or anything.
Yeah.
There's a big
I learned the hard way about that.
Yeah, separation between workers and my personal life is something that always needs to kind of. There's enough drama at work as it is.
Yeah.
You don't want to. I don't want to bleed that into my personal time because I hate work. I don't want to hate my personal time.
Right.
So.
Right. I learned that the hard way working at Walmart. I learned that. But anyway, no, I don't work for Walmart anymore. Thank God. But I will say this about my new job. I'm gonna love it.
I'm excited for you.
Because all I do is I just be nice to people and I give them coupons. That's all I do.
When can I sign up for a job like that? Actually, I found out that I am very bad at collection calls. I'm not mean enough. I am really good customer service wise, helping people stay calm through a situation. If I'm trying to get them service or something. But I just started working collection. And the hard thing is, these accounts have been circulating through our systems for years. I've only worked there for 4 months.
Yeah.
And so there's history about every call that I just don't know. And
there's no notes in those calls?
You would think so, but no, not really. Not enough to give me any light on the situation. So I refuse to do collection calls if Ryan's not in the office because I have to ask almost every damn call I make. What's the situation with this? Because I hate that's the worst thing is calling someone saying, hey, you owe us money. And then they give me this story about how, well, I talked to the manager about this on this day, or, they were supposed to come out and finish work or something, and nothing's in the notes. And then I feel like a freaking idiot because I called them when something else was already worked out or we didn't follow through with something. It's stress that I shouldn't have to deal with, I think. Yeah. I don't get paid enough for that shit. I don't know.
I feel for you there because I worked at a place here in Lincoln which was technically telemarketing, even though I wasn't selling them anything. I was just trying to. All I did was I scheduled appointments for outdoor home stuff, and I worked there for 5 months, and that was during one of my big psoriasis flare-ups too. The boss that I had when I first got the job before Christmas break was a bitch, but she never did her job. Part of her job was to scrub phone numbers from the National Do Not Call list, and she didn't do that.
Oh, shit.
So you feel shitty calling these people, and they're like, well, I'm on the National Registry. How did you get this number? Why are you calling me? And we don't have computers, so there are no places to take notes. And you feel like, oh God, I just cost this company $10,000 because for every time a solicitor calls a number that's on that registry and they get turned in, that business gets a $10,000 fine.
Well, and how the hell did that bitch keep her job?
She didn't. After our Christmas vacation, came back, which they actually the person that wound up being the new boss fought for me to come back into the telephone room, but they wanted to condense the telephone room to like 2-3 people, and then we have our canvas workers. They were going to put me on the canvas team in the middle of my flare up, and I'm like, that's not going to work for me. And so they were like, well, find another job. But then I get a phone call from the guy that I've had history with. He and I are good friends, even though we don't agree with each other politically at all. I got a phone call from him, and he's like, you ready to come back to work? And I'm just like,
If it's
Not,
in the phone room.
yeah, if it's in the phone room, he's like, yeah, it's in the phone room. I was like, yeah. He's like, come in today at 1. And it was like, I never lost my job, which I didn't, you know, and they still have me on the payroll. Huh. But anyway, so yeah.
Well, if that was the worst part of my job, then I would probably stay. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Where I'm like, there's no inconsistency.
No consistency.
No consistent. Yeah, you know what I mean. No consistency. And like, this is a job where actually a week into the job, I'm back in the back room where they used to have me. Now I'm up by Ryan, where I'm a little watched more carefully. Damn it. But I was back there just like filing and shit, and I hear like all this cussing coming from the front room, like screaming and cussing, and I go, okay, let's just go in or whatever. And I heard Ryan say, dude, you know that the new girl's back there now, right? The manager, the general manager, who's the one that was cussing, goes back. He goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. This doesn't happen all the time. I promise. It was just a fluke." And I go, "Okay, sure." Yeah, he lied. That happens on the daily whenever he's there. Like last time, he was on the phone with one of our guys, and was just like, fuck you, dude. Come back and give me my van back. You're fucking fired." Blah blah. Like just screaming at him over the phone, firing him. And I go, for some reason, I don't think this is very like professional or right, or not sure this is how you're supposed to handle a situation. In my head, I'm saying that, and I'm like, whatever. Less than an hour later, dude, he was yelling out that went to a call, and it was like it never happened. It's like, and they say girls are bipolar and like have mixed signals and feelings. Like he will go and cuss you out, and then the next hour you're fine, and they're still doing their job, and everything's good. It's just very, very uneasy / scary sometimes. Like, but I actually grew some balls last week. I actually kicked some of the guys out of the office, and I'm the low man on the totem pole, dude. Yeah. So I was on because I'm up front now with Ryan. All of the guys, if they don't have calls, they'll hang around the office, usually in the garage. But this time they're right out there. And this one guy has such a loud voice. The other two I didn't have an issue with. But I was answering the phone, and I couldn't hear anything that the guy was saying because they were so loud. Yeah. So I put the customer on hold, look up at the guys, I go, you guys take this out to the garage now because I can't hear my customer. They looked at me like I had grown 3 heads, and they were like, are we going to let this girl talk to us like this? They didn't say a damn word, and they just left. And Ryan's sitting there laughing his ass off because I actually stood up for myself. I wasn't mean about it. I was just firm and like said, hey, I have a job to do and you're hindering it pretty much, you know? Yeah. So they left. And actually the guy that has a big mouth, he left. Like he literally left the building after I yelled at him. So the other two that I didn't really have an issue with came back in, and this guy that has been there for 4 years goes, dude, if you ever talk to me like that again, I swear. And I go, what are you going to do? Well, nothing, probably. But I go, yeah, that's what I thought. And I go, it wasn't with you, really. It was the other guy, and I have a job to do, too. Unless you want me to start tagging along on your jobs and making your job more difficult, then don't make mine difficult.
Right.
So,
like screaming when they're getting, when dispatch is like, hey, you need to go here.
Yeah.
Be like, I didn't get that address. I have somebody in my ear. I hate that, like, especially like going into a drive-through.
Yeah.
And somebody that, I'm not going to mention that person's name because you and I both know this person, but that person was living with me at the time. And we were in a McDonald's drive-through, and something flew by her head, and the person was trying to repeat stuff, and that I repeat the order. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I have somebody screaming in my ear. And that person got really angry, but it's like, have some tact.
Well, yeah, and instead of saying that to my customer, I'm sorry, but I have people,
screaming
hindering. Yeah. I just put them on hold and yelled at the guys, and then went right back to my call. Like it was okay. But yeah, it's just, and then of course on the daily, they're always complaining about what calls they get. And I'm like, did you not sign up for this job? Like, You know the areas. You knew the areas before you got this job. Why are you complaining every call you get? You're making a hell of a lot more money than I am.
Yeah.
So why don't you just man up and do your job or leave? I don't want to deal with it. Like, I'm working with 2 years, Travis.
See, I wish you were working with me, but then you'd have to take a significant pay cut. But you'd be happy, but you wouldn't be happy because you'd have to take a significant pay cut.
I wouldn't mind taking a significant pay cut if I had the opportunity eventually to work my way up through a company or get like my way up 2 raises.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's capable there.
I was told in my program.
Well, and I'm upset because I actually had an interview that I think I told you about earlier.
Yeah.
I don't think I got it. I haven't heard anything from them. And I'm really upset about it because it would have been a perfect job. It would have been great. I would have been to like hire and fire people and like kind of train them, but I don't think I was experienced enough for it.
Yeah.
Pisses me off. I'm either overqualified or underqualified for jobs usually, and that sucks. It really does, and I don't know how to fix it. I can't just pretend that I'm dumber. But then, if I don't want to take a pay cut, but I also can't get smarter until they give me experience.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Give me a break. Can't help it.
It's a catch-22. Something else I want to talk about. Yeah, this episode's going to be extended as well. Might even do an hour. Who knows?
I have places to be,
Sure. I have places to be tomorrow morning, but I'm still here. Redoing my job offer so I can work. So, pull up on your phone what we were going to talk about. We were going to talk about this last week, speaking of the Elvis Duran show, but that kind of went into the trash heap because my phone stopped recording when I was trying to look this photo up. But how would you feel? You've known about this situation for a week. You probably thought about it between now and then.
Sure.
Just nod your head yes.
They can't hear my head nod. I mean, it rattles sometimes, but not loud enough for them to hear.
You'd be surprised. Anyway.
Fuck you. I quit.
You can't. You're half of this.
What?
No, you're half. You are half of this empire.
I'm the she said.
Yeah. Well, I'm not the she said. I have an Audi.
Are you sure?
I have an Audi.
Okay.
And I don't have boobs.
You don't have to.
Oh yeah, I do have moves. I do have moves, but not boobs. Mine aren't working today.
Got your bra, didn't
you? Yeah, I did.
Damn it.
Anyway, how would you feel if you were driving to work on the interstate and you turn on the radio and it's your ex-boyfriend that you've been kind of talking to again, and he's talking about a pros and cons list of that he wrote down for himself about dating you?
Okay, well, the thing is, I've actually made pros and cons lists as well about guys that I was even dating at the time.
Yeah.
But I never would have went on the internet. I wouldn't have posted on the internet. I wouldn't have went on the radio. There's just certain things that are not anyone else's business. So yeah, I'd be pissed if someone had done that about me.
Well, thankfully, since you said that, I think I'm going to write down a pros and cons list of working with you on this podcast. I'm going to put it on Facebook for everybody to read.
Why would you do that? I just told you no. That's a con for you, Travis. I'm going to do the same.
Okay. You just earned yourself a con.
Check mark on the board. My cons are on the right side. Check mark on the right. Okay.
You get to write.
You need to read this or what?
Anyway, hang on. There was an intern, Elvis Duran in the morning from G100. I listened to it. Not every morning, but at least once a day I hit the replay, and on the iHeartRadio app, which is a very good app. And no, they don't sponsor this podcast. But he had one of his interns come in I guess he and this girl have been seeing each other off and on for a while, and they're off again, but they're talking, so there's a chance of them being on again. And he decided to come up with a pros and cons list of dating her.
This, have you ever heard, or have you ever listened to the Zach Sang show?
Yeah.
He reminds me of someone who might actually do something like this, because all he does on his show is pretty much talk about his problems and get advice. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying actually, but I like when they do like the rap segments and stuff like that. It's fun. But this reminds me of something he probably would actually do on his show, just because he doesn't seem, no offense, Zach, I love you, but he doesn't seem to be the brightest sometimes, and I think he would do something like this.
Oh my God.
What?
Just a side note, I just realized we're talking about radio personalities and all that. And it's just kind of how my brain is wired. Today is National Radio Day.
Sweet.
And I didn't even realize that what we were going to do. I didn't know we were going to talk about, a whole bunch of radio stuff on National Radio Day.
It was meant to be. Yeah. The planets have aligned.
Well, the sun and the moon will align tomorrow. We're recording this on Sunday night.
Is it a lunar or solar? Is the moon going over the sun?
It is a total solar eclipse. Will be a partial eclipse here in where we are, because we'll still see about 4% of the sun.
Don't see it. You're not supposed to look at it.
And there's this meme too that's going around saying, if you point your camera at you and turn your back to the sun, then you can see it that way because it won't burn your eyes. Yeah, but they don't realize that would burn the camera out of your phone. So forget taking pictures ever again with your phone if you did that.
The phone store is going to be busy the next week or two, because a lot of people will try that and they'll be like, I need my phone fixed. I can't use my camera.
Yeah, did you use your camera to see the solar eclipse? Yeah. Well, that's your problem, dumbass.
That's not covered under your warranty. You gotta get your phone.
That'd be an act of God, though.
$300.
That should be covered under the warranty. That'd be an act of God, even though you're the one that put your phone in that position.
That'd be like me throwing my phone into a tornado.
Yeah.
Would that?
That's still an act of God.
How did it get sucked up into the tornado if it was?
It just flew out of my pocket.
That wasn't an act of God. You actually doing something stupid by it. I'm confusing myself now.
You enhance the effects of the act of God by being stupid. There we go. Anyway, let's go back.
Which is not covered under your warranty.
Let's go back to the pros and cons list. So I sent you the pros and cons list, so that way we could we wouldn't have to use my phone.
Making me laugh, and some of it I don't understand at all.
Okay.
So, am I just gonna go through one and then the other, or am I going back and forth?
Yeah, go back and forth. A pro and a con.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
These
assuming
are pros.
each bullet point is separate.
Yeah. These are pros and cons of this guy that was on the radio on the Elvis Duran show. He was one of Elvis Duran's interns. He wrote these pros and cons about dating his on again, off again girlfriend.
This is the picture, the exact picture of his paper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to know what the stains are on this paper.
I bet they're like grease stains. They get food all the time. They get like greasy food all the time delivered. Okay. Yeah. Well, on a yellow paper, grease stains would be brown.
This first one, I'm not sure if it says happy or hippie, but either one is a pro in my book.
So that's a pro.
Yeah.
He's happy with her.
Yeah, either that or she's a hippie. I don't know.
Honestly, though, here's the thing: if that was your first bullet point on your pro, then the rest of the pros and cons don't matter, do they?
Yeah, I think so. Just because it's not ever that simple. Like, you can be happy, but is it a fulfilling happiness? Like, what kind of happiness? Because if you're happy, that's great. But if you're wanting more for your life or whatever, you have to kind of critique it a little. If this is a relationship, I don't know. But I'm single for a reason. So, maybe I shouldn't be talking about this issue.
I'm single for a reason, too. I'm single by choice, and it's not mine. Anyway.
Okay, well, I'm going now. I'm single for multiple reasons, but okay, I don't understand this one, but the first con's married and never with someone else.
Yeah, because his backstory was this girl is the only girl he's ever slept with. This is the girl that's taken his virginity. So if he marries her, then there's really
he doesn't have an opportunity to maybe with someone else or have more experience.
Right.
That's a decent thing to consider. Okay, pro is sex good / great. There you go.
Okay, happy, sex is good. Do you really need anything else?
Not everything's supposed to be about sex, Travis. So you're talking to someone. Never mind. Okay, yeah. Okay, con is.
I'm talking to somebody who masturbates 9 times a day. Okay, like 9.
How do you know?
I know.
You Ew.
I'm sorry. After like 2 times, my hand cramps up.
Mine too.
She just takes ibuprofen and gets right back to it.
I have stock in ibuprofen, so it's okay. Next con is
You can't read his handwriting?
I can't.
Hang on, let me see
Regret new being with someone else in college.
Okay, con.
Is that an NEW? I don't know. Men in their handwriting, I swear. Regret?
Okay.
You can't read it either.
No, yeah, you're right. I can't read it either. It reads as new, but I believe when he was talking about it on the radio, he meant to write not. Regret not being with someone else in college.
Okay, that makes sense. He just got fast.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much the same thing as the first one. He's repeating himself there. The next pro is not insecure with her, which is good.
Yeah.
She gives him confidence.
She probably gives him more than that.
That was covered. That was covered in the second con or pro, the sex.
That is covered under the sex warranty.
There's a sex warranty? How did I know about this?
I'm gonna create one with my next relationship. Like, if the sex isn't good, you owe me money.
Damn.
If I don't get off at least 10 times, you're gonna owe
Christ. That's not the right time to say his name.
Hey, you know what?
I mean, even
The thing is, a lot of gays do go to church because Jesus was hung.
Oh my God! Get out of my room. Okay, continue.
He was sporting some big wood. I'm going to hell. I know. I'm going to hell.
I don't believe in hell, so whatever. Okay. Third con. Other people I'm interested in, I could pursue. So he's kind of still. He's very redundant in this list. Okay, it's the same thing, just worded differently.
Well, hang on. It's being sort of redundant, but kind of adding a little more description to what he's looking for.
It does make it different if he is interested in other people now.
Mm-hmm.
Next pro, history. It all says history.
They have history. Okay. They're familiar with each other.
Yes. But could also be seen as just being comfortable and not wanting to and be afraid of change too. So it could be a borderline pro con.
Yeah.
Next con is family isn't 100%.
Yeah. He was talking about his family doesn't. Not all of his family likes him. There's certain people in his family that doesn't like him. But you're gonna find that in any family. Like, you tell me any relationship where 100% of the family is like, ooh, I like that person. That person's good. No. I've never come across that.
I'm trying to think through my exes. I don't think any of them were liked by my family.
That is weird.
Yeah.
If anybody, well, no, there's a couple brown spots in your history that I definitely agree.
Well, but also they don't really know. I mean, actually, I'm not really a relationship person anymore. I never really was. Well, I guess my very first boyfriend I liked. That was back in high school. But I really I've not had very many relationships. Most of them have just been infatuations or fuck buddies, kind of, so, which they don't know anything about those. So I hope those. I was gonna say them and those at the same time. Okay.
But see, you're at a point in your life now where they don't need to. As long as you're safe, you're not diseased, you're not putting yourself in a harmful position. Do what you want.
I'll do what I want.
You do what you want, Shanae.
That's not my name. That's not my name. Oh shit. Okay.
That's the most annoying song ever.
That's why it's the only part I know is
that and She Drives Me Crazy. Those are the two most annoying.
She drives me crazy.
No. Not that song. No, not that song. That 80s song. She drives me crazy. Ooh, ooh. Like no one else.
I don't mind that song so much.
I think that song is so fucking annoying. I hate it. And I'm gonna walk 500 miles and I'm gonna walk 500 more just to be on.
Okay, we get your point. Shut up.
Ooh, I have 15% left in my battery. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. My
Erica's here to save the day.
You're gonna hear a funny noise. I feel like I'm a doctor saying that to my patients, to my listeners.
Just a little pinch.
Just a little pinch. It's gonna burn a little bit.
Well, your phone took it very well. It didn't scream or anything.
Yeah, it relaxed its muscles. My phone's a bottom.
Oh.
I can even double penetrate it.
Your phone has muscles?
Yeah. I can even double penetrate it because I have a jack for headphones.
Your phone gets more action than I do. So.
Oh, gets more action than I do.
Okay. Next.
And here's the thing: I am just kind of caveat for a second. I don't get much action, but I am an admin on a sex chat and on Kick. So it's kind of like, why wouldn't that be helping you out? Right.
What are you doing wrong, Travis? Okay, I'm gonna write down some tips for you.
I was gonna joke around and say maybe I should catfish people, but no, that's dangerous.
That's not very nice.
It's not very nice. It's dangerous. I've been catfished before.
Although you could maybe be on the show.
And yeah, because there's an issue that I've been catfished about before. So, but one good thing about being ugly, nobody's using me as a mask. I was watching Catfish the other day, and I've never seen the story from the mask's point of view. You know what the mask would be, right? No, the catfisher uses a mask. Catfisher picks out somebody, steals their pictures, and then puts them in his... Yeah, they're hiding behind that picture, basically.
Okay.
I've never seen a story from a mask's point of view, and she just...
Well, what kind of story would they have besides all my photos?
Having guys go cross country to see her that she doesn't know anything about.
Okay.
She was a lesbian and she had a guy grab her at Pride and was like, "Hey, you disappeared on me. You know, we were talking for like a couple years," and then she found out that one certain person had catfished this guy using her identity for like 10 years, and this guy was ready to move to a place where she wasn't at all, just to be with this girl that catfished him. So, yeah, she said it ruined her life. She can't go out anymore without somebody recognizing her and saying, "Hey, why did you stop talking to me? Why did you ghost me?"
That show, I used to talk to a lot of people online all the time.
Yeah. Catfish?
No, the site that I was on. I don't remember. Anyway, it was a dating site. But
Plenty of fish.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
There's some weirdos on there anyway.
Yeah.
But like after that, I haven't been back on that site because I'm so afraid that like you just can't trust people anymore, especially online. Computers are very dangerous, more than helpful, I think nowadays. So it's sad, really.
Okay, back to the pros and cons list.
Okay, was the con the last one I gave?
What was the con? I don't.
Oh, family.
Yeah,
That's the
family.
last one. So then the next pro is she has her license. He doesn't have his license?
No, he does. It's just she just got her license, so he doesn't have to make. He doesn't always have to come to her. She can come to him sometimes.
How young are these people?
Well, he's college aged at least.
Okay.
I don't know how old she is.
If he's college age, hopefully she's older than 16 and she's got her license.
Well, here's the thing. New York has also participates in the Romeo and Juliet Act, which means, if you're over the age of 18, you can date up to 4 years younger than you.
Yeah. Okay. Next con is.
So if he's 20 and she's 16, that would work out.
Okay. Can't always have convos with her about politics and interesting stuff. That would be a big con for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love, like you all know, I love talking. So, but you have to be interested and actually have genuine conversations and interests, like similar interests. You don't have to have everything similar because that would be boring. But I love debating, and I love,
We actually have a friend who is in a relationship right now with somebody who he can't talk politics to her because she doesn't follow politics. She follows like reality TV, and he doesn't. So it's kind of like conversations get.
But as is stated in his pros list, I've heard their sex is really good. So apparently, that overrides it for right now. I don't know.
It should. Anyway.
It should. Okay. Next pro is couldn't deal with breakup / months of pain. I'm reading from the pro list. Whatever it says.
That's kind of weird.
Weird scribble. We can look at it.
No.
Is that
I'm
what
not
it
saying.
says? Just making sure. Maybe I read it
Couldn't
wrong.
deal with breakup
/ months.
months of pain. Months or moments of pain, something like that.
I just needed you to read or.
So maybe he was miserable without her for a while.
That might be it. That makes sense.
Okay.
But to be honest, like that's normal.
Read one more con, and then I think we're done with this.
Okay. Next con is her family is crazy. Doesn't affect me much anymore. Well,
So
then
how
that's
would that
kind
be?
of canceling it out.
Yeah. But that last pro kind of canceled itself out either.
Yeah.
So, as well. I can't speak
You're
English.
an English major and shit. I can't even talk.
I could be an English mayor, but not an English major.
Travis for mayor. Yeah.
Nobody would vote for me. Well,
Okay.
maybe you. And your dad. Your dad would vote for me. My mom
Well, this
and
whole
JR.
household would.
Okay,
I mean, besides KJ.
So I get maybe less than 1% of the vote.
But Dad has a lot of friends, and if he was rooting for you, he's a good guy, and he would.
Your dad
he'd
is
be
an
on your
influencer.
committee. He'd be on your committee.
Your dad is an influencer.
He is. Almost everyone in town knows him. So if they don't know him, they know my uncle. That term loosely.
Ooh.
So.
I kind of. It was accidental, but it was a.
What happened?
With your uncle.
Yeah, what happened?
I saw him at
Should I
Walmart.
give background to him before you say that?
No, too many people know who he is.
I wouldn't tell his name.
Yeah, but people would still guess who he was. Okay, go ahead. You do your background.
Well, no, I was just saying. I was just going to say some of my issues with him. Like, he goes around thinking or saying that he cares about like all of this the community, and he's doing this and that to help out, um, which is, I guess, good, but he doesn't follow through with a lot of the stuff that he says he'll do.
Mm-hmm.
And as his niece, he doesn't even care. Like, I don't like him because he took advantage of my grandpa all the
Yeah.
time. And after grandpa died, he was kind of disappeared
Yeah.
unless he needed something. And, like, he would put on all these things, like, he used to do a show on Channel 5. I don't know if you guys
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I gave it away. So I watched that, but
Yeah.
he would, like, ask for musical acts or other talents and stuff. And I even messaged him, asking him, like, hey, your niece sings. Like, can I do something? And he would never answer me. Didn't even ask if I would be a part of it. Nothing. He actually gave my sister a sex workout sex tape thing or something for Christmas once. And he
That's
gave
kind of
me-
creepy.
It wasn't like a sex tape. It was a workout video, but they were all like it was all like girls and like I don't know. It was weird. Like,
That's
so
not creepy.
He didn't even spend money on us on Christmas, really, which is not about the money, but he didn't know us at all to be able to give us a gift that we actually liked. So we're kind of estranged. I could care less about him at this
You
point.
couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Because if
Sorry,
you could care
I'm
less,
buzzed. I'm sorry.
because if you could care less, you would.
Actually, I hate that I said that because that's one of my pet peeves. When people say that wrong, I said it wrong.
You
Damn
said
it.
it wrong.
I said it wrong.
You said it wrong. Anyway,
This is when I wish that we were videoed because like you can see our little gestures or fingers.
maybe
flailing.
when we upgrade to my computer run and get it back, we can do it on.
I could probably look that one up.
Okay.
But
Anyway,
try it some other time. Okay, what was your story?
Anyway, saw him at Walmart, obviously, because he's always there, sitting in the subway.
He's one of
And
those.
it was right after we did the show at the Logan County Fairgrounds. And I was, because sometimes if I'm doing like grocery shop and I get a lot of stuff, I use the Walmart savings catcher app, which saves you, if you don't know what that is, it's a little part of the Walmart app to where you scan in your receipt and Walmart will find competing stores that sell that same item in the area. And if they have a sale or if they're selling that item for less than what I bought it for at Walmart, they'll refund you the difference. Basically, it'll go on your gift card. No, you make it'll go on a digital gift card for you that you can use in the Walmart Pay portion of the app. Now your computer is going off.
Sorry,
It's okay. But anyway, so I'm scanning in the receipt because I can't scan and walk at the same time. I'm not that coordinated. And he's behind me. We talk. I'm cordial with him because I'm not feeling B. He's never really done anything bad. So whatever.
And I don't judge you on that. That's cool.
But I bring you up at times, in our conversations, especially when it comes to music. And I had something led to something about the fairgrounds, and I was like, "Oh, by the way, you missed it. Your niece put on one hell of a show at the fair the other day." And he's like, "Oh, well, I should have been there. Next time that happens, invite me." It's like, well, I mean, it probably won't happen for another year, but we'll see what happens. But just kind of not to really rub his face in it, but just kind of put the issue in front of him and say, "Hey, she even though it wasn't just you, we had two others. She put on one hell of a show."
Well, thank you for also the compliment as well, because I had a blast.
Oh my god, that was the most fun show I've ever
Even
put
though I
together.
could have killed you during half of it. But,
but see, normally when I put shows together, especially if they involve other people, it's nerve-wracking because I've got to make sure my crap is on point and make sure the person providing music has the right music, and You know, if somebody, I'm afraid somebody else is going to like melt down on their portion. But you know what? With you and uh, Casey Beer, who used to be on the the Unusual Suspects podcast, just doing the show with you two, and then knowing that we had Bailey in our back pocket, who's a very fine young singer. She's 13. I don't mean fine like that, you sickos. I'm not Ted Nugent.
I think you were the only one that went there, but okay.
Well, there are a lot of perverts that listen to this podcast. So, anyway.
Fit right in then, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, she's a young singer, and she does well. And there was actually another girl that was supposed to appear with us. She was just going to sing one song. She was just going to be a special guest, but she had to bow out last minute. So I found out that Bailey was going to be in the audience. Bailey sings that same song too. So I was like, why not? Why not?
Well, and I like that because you, me, and Casey Beer were all in the contest for the karaoke superstar together. We already kind of had our little system going, working together anyway, and we worked really well together. Like, we all know our voices very well. Like you pointed out to me before, I mean, we work out really well, and we know who can sing what together and stuff like that. So it took the stress out of any arrangement anyway. So we were actually able to enjoy the show, knowing that we were all covered. And Roy, who DJ'd for us, we have trusted him. We
have
times.
History with him, so it's kind of like that in itself takes pressure off of me, because if I have history with a certain DJ that's providing music, then I trust that DJ.
Well,
and plus I know his system too, because we had a hiccup with one of your songs, and I was able to jump in and put in a second different song real quick.
And that was even easier too, because we all, of course, like I say, know what we can sing and not. So it was easy to just on the fly pick a song for backup.
Yeah.
Although I'm going to put that on the next show because I really do want to sing it still. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna re-download that song anyway.
Okay.
Because I still have it in my email.
Because I like singing that song. But anyway, the point is we got along very well. It was very stress-free. Stress-free. So Travis got to have too much fun, I think, and totally creeped me out during a couple of songs.
I got to perform though, and that was always fun, because a lot of times when I'm putting together shows like this, I just stand there and sing because I'm just so nervous that something's going to happen. But I was so relaxed that I could just perform.
Yeah, those are the best ones, because the year before that I did a show by myself and it didn't go so well.
Yeah.
Like one, I sang almost all of them myself, which back then
by myself.
The interrupting singing thing is my gig. You back off. Okay? You trying to out-snap me now or what?
I can out-diva you anytime. You want to show your ass? That's fine. I'll show mine too. And I'll drop a turd that'll still look better than you and sound better than you and be smarter than you.
Smell better than you.
And smell better than you.
Oh, we really got to video some of this shit sometime because that was great. But
you made some choices. You have a picture on your Abby. You made some choices.
What are you quoting?
Anyway.
I should have known, really. Yeah. But anyway, so when I was there last time, it didn't work out very well. Because my voice wasn't as strong. I mean, my voice isn't super strong now, where I could sing more than 3 or 4 in a row. It wasn't strong enough to sing 8 or 9 in a row.
Yeah.
So I fizzled out pretty early. But also, no offense to the DJ I had, but it was a very last minute gig anyway. And I didn't have anyone till the day before, I think. I got him to agree to do it because Roy was not available. And it was just a hot mess, pretty much. We didn't know we didn't know how to hook anything up. Because, when we were going to there, I think it needs to be known, there's no one there to help you set up. It's just a stage in the middle of the fair. Yeah. Like in a
There needs to be a stage manager.
There's no manager, no one to like check in with or anything, or let you know where plugins are or where the best way to set up is or anything like that. So me and the DJ I had were both very new to this, and it took a good 20 minutes to even get semi set up to where anything could happen. So that was most of my show, is confusion. So it was very stressful. So compared to that, for this time, it was very refreshing, fun, and can't wait till next year.
Yeah. Because we're going to do it again next year. So, Leslie, if you're listening, you've already got one act.
We should
but I think we
have
should...
a group. What do we have? Can we keep our name?
Team Underdog?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's going to be permanently associated to me when I do the contest next year. But next year has some different rules I'm kind of excited about, kind of nervous about. So
We'll have to talk about that.
Anyway, is there anything else that we want to talk about right now? Because we're over the hour.
My sister wants me to turn off her senses. Is it interesting?
No.
Oh no, she has No.
Just remind you guys that starting September 24th, that is our premiere date, we will be doing another podcast. On top of this one, we're going to keep this one going, but we will be doing another podcast, which would be like a 10, 15-minute podcast. If you guys have ever heard of the show Local Ambition, it's on the Always Late TV network. We have been asked to do the after show. And so we will be doing a show called Ambitiously Yours. And it will release those on Sundays after the initial episode we talk about is released. So I believe they're premiering on Mondays. They're premiering new episodes on Mondays. And it's basically a web-based network, web-based series. So it's like, on demand, auto default. We'll just say that. Okay. That works. So you can watch it at any time on alwayslatetv.com. And basically, Local Ambition is a different kind of modeling competition show. It's not. The tagline is, this isn't Tyra's modeling show. And it really isn't. I've worked on the show before. I can't say I made a major impact on that show, but I did the graphics for the opening of the very first season. And then during the second season, I was fortunate enough to catch one of the craziest moments in the show's history. When we had to tell a contestant that she was disqualified because she pulled a no-call, no-show on a taping. So... Well,
that makes sense. Because in the real work world,
yeah.
No-call, no-shows get you fired.
So she was going to... There was a point in the episode where me and one of the producers were waiting for her to show up because she kept saying, I'll be there, After we got hold of her, after taping had already started, and we finally got a hold of her, she kept saying, I'll be there in 15 minutes, I'll be there in 20 minutes, I'll be there in a half hour, blah, 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 blah. Well, finally, we were like, no, you've got to be here now. We've given you plenty of time to make arrangements. You've known about today since you were casted. You've known about today. So we gave you plenty of time to make arrangements. Get here now. And the only reason we were going to get her there is because she was going to be disqualified, and I was going to get her on tape. And she was, as bit crazy as anybody. And then she started a war with one of the previous judges that I had to step in on. So it's kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. But, I wouldn't say that I've been a major part of this show's history, but we're going to start working with the show now. It's going to be a companion show. Ambitiously Yours.
And I'm actually looking forward to it. I think you hadn't heard about this. I haven't either, so we're on the same page. But I'm looking forward to it because I haven't really gotten to one. Actually, I don't have time to watch stuff like that usually, but
yeah.
I'm looking forward to critique that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be interesting because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But could open up some debates.
But
I don't
see,
know.
here's the thing. I don't think our part would be focusing on the modeling part too much as the bitching and the fights and the drama, and we're gonna be discussing the whole episode.
Who's hotter? Can I pick like?
Sure. It's our show. We do whatever we want with it as long as it ties in with the episode. But yeah, to avoid giving out spoilers, they'll release the episodes on Mondays at, I believe, 7 Central. And then we will release our after companion show the following Sunday. And then we get to amp you up for the next day's release. So I'm looking forward to it. Local Ambition started out as a just something people in St. Louis watched because it was St. Louis based. Has now grown to a worldwide audience. So that gives us a worldwide audience. Sorry, Eric, I know your anxiety when it comes to stuff like that, but we'll be talking to the whole world.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
But I'm not like physically in front of the whole world. If it's just like our podcast now, I can handle it. If I'm just talking to you and about hot bitches,
but yeah, so we're looking forward to that. I don't know where we're housing those podcasts yet. I've got some working out to do with that. But
is that going to be with Jeff Talks to the actual show?
Well, I don't know how I don't know how his website. I don't know how the Always Slate TV website is set up. But if we can get, because I'm assuming SoundCloud is here to stay. So if we just stay on SoundCloud and we do another channel dedicating it to that show, I'm pretty sure they can embed each episode, into a new post on the website. So,
oh my god, I'm excited, but I am freaking out. Damn it.
But yeah, this is definitely not a normal modeling show though. So I think we've given a little more detail.
Am I gonna be able to cuss? You said it's worldwide. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are there rules that I don't know about?
It's not like you're going to be in Afghanistan saying a cuss word. You're in the United States. If they don't want to listen to it, they don't have to listen to it.
Like if it's aired in other places, I don't know. Okay.
They have a worldwide audience now, and magazines from all over the world cover the show. So this is a big deal. And this is going to be a big deal that Erica and I are going to enter in. And this is kind of the biggest deal that I have ever entered in myself.
I'm freaking out.
This is the biggest deal that
talk earlier.
that this is the biggest thing that I've entered myself in personally. So I'm both happy yet scared. So we'll get through it together. But I definitely
this together.
I think we talked enough for one episode to kind of make up for some other weeks that we didn't. Next week we will go back to our 30-minute format. So I'm sorry if we took a little more time out of your schedule than we thought we would.
Probably told us to shut up 10 times by now.
They're probably not even listening now. They probably already hit the stop button.
This was the best part.
This was the best episode ever.
It was.
For the best podcast ever.
And we danced all night to the best podcast ever.
Okay, I would make the DJ Khaled joke, but Ross Matthews took that from me. So, well, he didn't take it from me. It wasn't my idea to begin with. It was his. Best podcast ever. Anyway, I'm Travis. That's Erica.
Hey, yeah, you got that right. My name's Erica.
Yeah. Next week, I don't know what we'll talk about. I never know what we'll talk about ahead of time. We just talk. But you know what? If you guys want us to talk about something, let us know.
Send us a message or comment on the post.
sometime soon when we get things together and we're not constantly recording on my phone, we'll do like a Facebook Live 10 minutes before we start, and you guys can talk about, you guys can tell us your ideas of what you want us to talk about, and then you'll anticipate the episode coming out. And honestly, that's another reason why I don't like. Oh, well, okay, that's another reason why I love doing this podcast. I don't have to edit much. As previous podcasts where, like, I was doing the Eurovision podcast with Keo, and that took, like, it would take like an hour or whatever to record, and it would take 6 hours to just edit, and that was But anyway, we will talk to you next week.